Okay, good. Streams are up. Okay, there it is. Perfect. All right, got it. Sorry, team. Just getting all the streams up and running. Now I just gotta. Oh, I tell you. Reject VWAP. Maybe give us a little pullback. All right, let's see what earnings we've got going on in the after hours. Maybe that can give us some idea what's going on. MSTR, right? Let's see what earnings we have going on right now. So today we've got Amazon. Oh, yeah, we got Amazon, Irene, Reddit, Affirm, Microchip. Got Roblox also, and Bloom Energy. So you do have some big names. Amazon, I think, is going to be the big one. Here, I'll drop this in chat for y'all to take a look at. You might have people front running it. How is Amazon doing? Yeah, what is it doing today? Let's take a look at that since it has earnings. Maybe that might be doing something here in the market. Oh, it also had a pretty massive sell-off too into the, it's been selling off. Wow, okay. I didn't even know. How down is it? Yeah, it's actually pretty down. Huh. Yeah, so where Amazon is at, that actually might do something here in the market as well. You can see it there on the heat chart for the S&P. So it'll more, well, right there, Nasdaq too. So yeah, that can actually affect us if it actually catches a bid, and it's getting kind of aggressive here. See. All right, let's get back into the 9. See. All right, let's take a look at gold. Silver's still within its opening range, so I'm not interested in it. Or gold. So same for silver also, though it's in its opening range. So I'm not interested in either of those. They haven't really done anything. Yeah, ES is now testing the EMAs or VWAP. Yeah, it's testing VWAP right now. Getting pretty aggressive here at 5 minutes after the London close. Sheesh. Okay. Now we're getting some volume in it. Will we get that midday pump though? Does retail have it in them to really push this thing back up though? I'm not hearing anything that might be affecting the Mag 7 that might give it that though. We got 25 minutes until New York launch. Let's see though. If anybody was in a MNQ long on this, I mean, you'd be doing pretty well. We didn't get the pullback though. I was hoping we did pull back to at least halfway on that candle, and it didn't give us that. I'm gonna be patient here because I want to see if we'll get a pull. I want to see if this is a retracement or this is an actual bounce, and you know we might be pivoting at this point. I just don't know how far we would pivot though. You know, the dailies look just terrible. I just don't want to stay in this range and get chopped up here for like 2 hours. You know, we have had some insane volatility, wouldn't y'all say? The past days have just been just so much volatility. You know, maybe we shouldn't even be trying to reverse this. Maybe we should be shorting this, right? The fake out. You know, yesterday, 109, about 109 p.m. in that window, the last 2 days our pivot has been there. I did also notice that. I found that kind of interesting. It happened to happen. It happened to happen. It happened at the same time the last 2 days. You know what? Let's do this. Let's take a look at NQ. Okay, it's 10:40 right now. What did we do at 10:40 yesterday? So yesterday we actually made like a little W there as well on a three, and then went into the nine and rejected it. We never got over the nine, or the 26. I'm sorry, the 26 EMA. Not until 127. Was it until, yeah, 1224 when it started to, and then finally got the momentum to get over it. And even then, you had a nasty pullback on it. But that was after close. That was earnings. Yeah, that was Google's earnings. That's what that wick is. Because we opened below it, and then you know what? Yeah, let's cancel this. You know, the other thing I don't like is we're right in the middle of the orb. So usually it's real easy for us to chop around in here. The only good thing is that there is a 4 hour support resistance right here. So it for it to go up, it's got to get about a candle to close above this. So this is actually not too bad for us. It actually, we wanted to go short. This might be the spot because this could be the pullback. I'm gonna get all these chats up. The Russell is starting to make a nice little move to the upside. Maybe that might be the leader of the pack. Russell's been pretty strong. So is the Dow. They're actually over the over the 26 on the night on the 5 minute right now. I got some upside targets for them of 490 49,172 and 49,216 to the upside if it can continue. Good morning, Ambien. How are you doing? Good to see you on stream. Okay, I got those done. Let's see now. Did you guys see jobless claims hit today? That hit at 231,000, which is higher than what economists expected. You know, they were also saw a report that said from Challenger showing that the job cuts reached their highest level since 2009. Can you guys believe that? What do you think, team? We take that short off of the VWAP rejection. What that put us at? Let's see. If you could get back down there with the MNQ con, could we get a little bit of that pullback and get in there? Let's see. We're gonna bring it like right there. Yeah. It's interesting. I was looking at the markets, and shorting the market today was overpriced. You could see how the market was tilted this morning to the downside. The shorts were beautiful though. Yeah, it's really interesting. With the economy cooling faster than anticipated, we're seeing a flight to safety. Treasury yields are tumbling. You know, looks like traders are going to start, betting that the Fed's going to have to pivot sooner. That might actually bring the rate cut. You know, the Fed might actually have to just do the rate cuts, and be more aggressive because, the economy is cooling faster. That's kind of, yeah, that could be a catalyst for some interesting things in the market. Yeah, you could see how slow the market has gotten now. With the London closure, the volume has, almost fallen off a cliff, And, like a couple of us were talking about in chat earlier, these are at this time of day, you can get cut up. So really, you got to just stick to levels, things like that. So Fed Bostic says you should let the economy run for a while before considering more rate cuts. Huh. Okay. Yeah, so for this time frame, I would probably imagine that if buyers don't step in, we'll probably start making attempts further down. Let's see. Okay, we're in this short now. Let's see. Okay, we're in the position now. They might stop us too close. Maybe we should go further away. Well, we might be wrong on this then. This thing might be bouncing. The Dow is continuing up to the upside. Went through that first target on at 49,172. It looks like NASDAQ is going to follow it. So let's just see now. We got up here. Can we get over the overview WAP and hold that? Got about 9 minutes till New York lunch as well. So we'll see institutional buyers stepping out of the market and a lot less volume for this time of day. Let's take a look at gold. We got a buy signal on gold on the 5 minute above the 200. That's pretty good. That's actually not bad. Huh. Gold has been moving so crazy, team. Well, okay. Still holding here. Well, we're starting to get that move on it now. 1017. I guess that was it. Wow. Looks like that W is going to hold. Oh, Moro, you know that? Looks like that W is going to hold. So what we do here, this will be the flag right here. But then you'll get that coast up if it goes. Dang, look at that. See? I knew it. I what? Nah, we would have probably still been in that. Hmm. Could say it's a little bull flag too, but that's on the three. It had to be in a higher time frame. Let's see. Got 2 minutes on New York lunch. I'm gonna do all this. Hmm. This is pretty interesting. It looks like we got a box right here that formed. This is an hour. No, she's starting to go. Maybe we can get a pretty nasty sell into New York lunch. We're in New York lunch now as well, ladies and gentlemen. So, like I said, we'll see some volume leave. Let's see what retail decides to do with the market if they want to invalidate this W. Now we're just on the 90 MA here on the three. I just want to see what we'll do. Can we get that candle to close below it? Now we're below where my entry was. See, see if they can get down to that 200. 200 there is at 24,683. Well, now we're under. Oh, there she goes. Yeah, I definitely put my stop too close. Let's see, where did that stop at? Hmm. There we go. That's a little bit better. You can kind of see what I'm saying. You know, they get us back in the box, then will we stay and consolidate in here, or will we break below it? If we break below it, then we could go short again. Dang, that's insane. Yeah, the market has really gotten slow. That's all I was saying. It could start consolidating here and then just get stuck here for like the next hour. I was hoping that maybe retail might do something. Maybe give us that low, take us into that 200. Boom, we'll make some money. Oh, somebody bought some of my Bido long. Sweet, that's awesome. I didn't think I was gonna get rid of some of those. Somebody's banking that tomorrow Bitcoin might rip. Huh? That's interesting. Let's see what silver is doing. Still stuck in the lower side of that bear flag. Or you could say it's on the wedge right now. You kind of see that. Maybe. Could be a falling wedge too. Kind of like that. Maybe. Yeah, it could be a falling wedge. Huh. Interesting. You're on the 30-minute. This thing rips. You could see it bounce pretty hard though. Where will the value be found though? That's a massive. That's a massive sell-off on silver. We're at January 8th lows now. Almost a month ago. Crazy. Almost 30 days worth of gains just erased. That's that's astonishing. And it looks like the market is selling a little bit more. Still stuck in the EMAs right now. You're still stuck between the 9 and the 26. It looks like the 26 right now is holding it here on the 3-minute. Let's just see what happens. I'd like to see us take out that overnight, that low though, that intraday low. I'm interested in that. Russell and the Dow are starting to tilt to the downside. They're rejecting as well. Well, this time of day is tough, you know. Well, do most of you guys trade during the midday, or what are you guys doing during the midday? Are you guys normally reading or journaling at this time, going over your morning trades? Is there anybody really trade? Is there anybody trading during this session right now? Ain't nobody got time. 22K before reaching another high. Yes, here for the vibes. All right, Jeff. Great to hear that. Scalping day only at this time with a runner, not expecting much. As Steve, he knows. Right? No kidding. Ask Steve. Oh, it's so slow right now, though. Oh, wow. I didn't see that. Where'd you see that? Ah, got you, got you. That's cool. That's sweet. Yeah, they're gonna do a giveaway during Power Hour today. So for my viewers on the intrawebs, you don't want to miss that. For our Power Hour session, we will be giving away 5 free Tradopedia subscriptions. We've partnered with them and we're giving them away. So be sure to tune in for Power Hour today. Yeah, we'll have Coach Becky and Coach Madden. Hey, thanks for letting me know that, team. Yeah, I need to check my email subscriptions because I don't get the subscription emails. You don't read email, only Discord. You know, when I ran my company, I used to always read my email all the time, right? And like now that I'm here, I never read my email. It's always like DMs or, yeah. I talk a lot through Discord, so a lot of most of the people I interact with are always in Discord. So it's my main, method to communicate with folks, or X, Yeah, no. Now here with the team, we've got we've got our messaging software tools, so stuff like that. You do need to get paid for advertising. Yes, sir. I'll pay you in gum. Dang. Man, why you want to beat him up? That's Stewie. I should not put that there. I should not put that there. I'm opening myself up to like all kinds of criticism. But we're good. We're good. We're in the midday. We're waiting for the market to do something. You know, Steve's gonna send your payout. Exactly why I should take that down, man. That is exact. See, I didn't want to. I don't want to confess it though, man. I'm not trying to put that into the world. Maybe I should delete that. Dang it. Steve's screen already shot it. Well, I'm glad the chat on the interwebs can see it. Nobody on the on the streams can see that. So it's not officially recorded. It's only in the Discord. Maybe I should delete it. Oh, you guys are funny. Come on, get it under. Oh, there she goes now. Russell's not pushing down. It's my buddy saying. Man, where's the volume? Retail can't do anything with this. They're just slow on it. Bulls are fighting for it though. It's just a battle. As I said, I don't want to trade in this zone because it's inside the orb. There won't be any clear direction in it because it could just range in here. And like some of the other guys said, you could scalp it, but if you were to scalp it, you'd have to go down to the sub time frames. And then what would those ranges be for you if you were going to try to scalp it? If I were to try to scalp it, you'd have to be in these low areas, 24, 733, or the high side, you'd be in the 24, 810. But then, you're setting yourself up for risk on it. And then it's a matter of taking the trade that offers the best risk to reward. So if you think that the market's going to continue down, then when we get in these highs, then just short it down into the lower range. Put your stop in the money as soon as it goes. You'll have to be really strict on stuff like that because it can go against you fairly fast, as you guys have seen it go against me fairly fast. But this is a more difficult time of day to trade, though, unless we get a real trend. Just trying to get on that. Okay. This could be another fake out breakout. Let's see. That's a lot of orders there finally kicking in. Bulls are stepping in. Check the 15-minute EMA. Ah, got it. Good catch. It's like that bid might be coming in, right? You're gonna rip this thing for lunch and take it. Hmm. Yeah, I know, but this is about, well, this is late in the day, but it could just be a little bit of a pullback for the New York lunch. They might pull it back to the top of the orb, maybe get it into 24,976, and around this area here will reject and run out of steam and come back in. Yeah, this is rough. It's a hard time of day. That's why I mentioned it earlier. That's why if you noticed, I actually switched over to MNQs. In all honesty, I don't normally trade this time of day, so I apologize. I'm trying to get my bearing because I'm just coming into the midday, so I don't normally trade this time of day. So I'm trying to adjust my strategies and find my footing at this time of day. So again, I yeah, yeah, definitely mini micros during this time of day is probably gonna be the best thing that can save your hide. To where you don't have these massive losses. Oh man, I feel you on that. I feel you on that. I mean, that's why we're all here. That's why we're all here. We're all trying to take our time. That's why, as opposed to yesterday, I kind of caught myself, and Bay Fisherman had mentioned to me some other things, and I kind of like started looking at my trades for the day, looked at my journaling, and I was like, you know what, my day yesterday wasn't as good as what it should have been, and I think a lot has to do is that I need to get acclimated to this time of day. This time of day trades differently, than the morning and the afternoon session. You don't have as much volume, but you have more volatility because of the lack of volume. So the market's going to fluctuate to wherever there is the most amount of orders, and that can create those exaggerated moves like you just saw in the market. You know what? You're absolutely right, Amaro. I don't think that there's any such thing as missing a trade. You know, if you don't have time, you don't have time. You just have to. That's one of those demons that some of us, struggle with. I know I myself, when I first started trading, I felt like that. Like I needed to be trading like constantly, like in a trade, you know? And after a while, it became like, oh, okay, I don't need to be in a trade all day long. I don't need to be taking, 20 trades a day, you know? I only need to take, two or three trades a day to make my profit. And then it's a matter of, well, did I hit my profit or not? And if I didn't, and, I'm shy of it, most cases, almost always, I'll just give up. I'll just stop at that point. If I'm like, oh, I'm trying to make $200 for the day and I come up at like 190, I won't even push it. I will not even push it because I rather at least end my day knowing I made 190 bucks and I came up $10 shy of my profit target. And then it lets me be clear that when that the market reopens at the Sydney, I can be like, okay, hey, you know what? I only need that $10, hypothetically to pass that eval, right? Now, do I need to take an NQ con? No. I can take that MNQ con and then just boom, kill it in a couple of points. Grab 4 or 5 points, be done with the trade, and low risk and pass. And I'm just using that as an example. It took me a long time to get to that though. You know, like I would be out, I would be looking at the charts. I'd be at dinner, I'd be looking at the charts. I'd be sitting on the sofa, I was looking at the charts. But I think at that time I was also trying to play catch up on all the experience and knowledge that I was lacking. That sip that sip it looks to hush, so translate sip, stop, and profits. Absolutely. Yep. That's why you always notice, when I take my NQ trades, I'm always like 50 bucks in, boom, because that's always my goal is that $200 target a day. That $200 target a day. If you're working full time, trying to figure out find a way to become a full time trader, I feel that offers you the stability that if you can do that regularly, you can start building from there. You know, if you get yourself if you can get yourself an account and start grinding out $200 a day, think of it. That in 20 trading days, what that's about $2,000 a month, right? Why can't you just stack your accounts then? You don't have to use one account. That's $4,000 a month with $200 a day. At the very least, I mean, there's two ways you can look at that coin. If you got the money that you can leverage and get the evals and go into the larger sizings, then, by all means. But if you're a regular trader and, you're just starting off, you got to start off on, I shouldn't say if you're a regular trader. If you're just starting off, you should be in the mini micros. You should not be in the bigger sizes. So it all depends on your skill level and where you're at in your comfort and how much risk you're willing to incur. But it sounds like you're willing to risk a lot, Lamo. I'm the same way though. I use my evals and props the same way. I leverage my money more in there. Come on, give us more of that red. It's interesting. The Russell is fighting the move to the downside. Let's see though. Nvidia is up 0.5%, so not helping the downside. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. I don't think. Well, hopefully nobody took that wrong, Omaro. I don't think. I don't think. I didn't read it like that. It sounded good. Yeah. It sounded fine. Your opinion and what you were stating. So yeah, this is a good time of day that I think if you're a full time trader, this is probably your better time to journal because it is the midday session, so you get chopped up around a lot. The morning move has already happened. More often than not, you don't get a midday, explosion. So I think that this is the better time that you can, journal, take the notes on the trades you took, jot down those, three reasons of why you took the trades, the time of day, the lot size, what confluences you use to take those trades. If you're using a digital device to put your notes in. I hear some folks like to create discords. I think there's a few of y'all that have your own discords that are private that you all drop in those your notes, your trade notes for yourself, that's a great idea. That's an awesome idea. I got a friend of mine. He's building a pretty cool little web app that you can put in all your trades and stuff, and it'll put it on a graph, and then you put in your strategy that you used and everything else, and then it kind of starts drawing conclusions, of your trading and stuff. I think he was working on some algo with it. It was actually pretty neat. Oh yeah, yeah. I feel you on that. Like 2 days ago, like the Sydney Open, I tried to take the rip, and it dipped pretty hard on me, and yeah, I gave up like 3 days of profits. I was ah man, I was you know, but you know, you gotta. It's just the ups and downs of trading, you know. I mean, that's just part of it. You have to endure the pain sometimes. Sometimes you're gonna lose. You know, you just can't be discouraged by it. You can't take it personal. You know, it feels personal. It feels super personal. You know. Yeah. Now, now that's a good point. You know, Ja, that's the best point right there. Is it's the time is the value, because you know if it takes me 3 days to grind out to almost pass an eval and then blow it that third day that I'm $800-900 away from passing it, I just lost 2 days that I can't make up. You know, yeah, maybe the money doesn't it isn't as important, but the time is the crucial part, because maybe I don't have a lot of time. You know, when I was first getting into trading, like futures and stuff, that's what that was an unfortunate thing that I was facing, is I had a finite amount of time to become profitable and try to make money and have an understanding of how to use the market to make money. And because I was using my retirement, I was using my own capital to fund myself. My businesses were gone, my companies were gone. I wasn't running my parents' businesses, so I'm using my own savings to do this thing. You know, and it was stressful. And it still is stressful. It still is stressful. Man, you know what? I think better than middle class. I wouldn't say rich, just hardworking, bro. I was working around the clock all the time. It to make a lot of money, in most cases, it takes a astronomical amount of time. If you want to make a $250,000 a year or $500,000 a year, working or running a business or a company, it's going to require more time than you could ever imagine. And not a lot of people are willing to sacrifice for that, or are capable of the requirements of doing that. And that's what makes it difficult, because that is the grind. You wake up, I go to sleep, or I stop working when I close my eyes. Yep. You know, Lamone's, you just gotta kind of don't stress yourself out too much about it. I hope that you're not in that same type of position. I wish you the best though. You need any help, or if you ever need someone to chat with, my DMs are always open for you. I do understand that grind though. If you have a finite amount of time and you're trying to get through it. The thing about it is it's the understanding of it. Everyone is different, you know. And I heard one trader. I saw this one guy that was on. I had this conversation with my son, and it related to a post I saw on X. And the trader said, the guys that are like pros, like you ask them, why did you take that trade? And he was like, there's a chunk of them. The really really good ones will just tell you, I just knew. And be like, well, how did you know? It's just a feeling. But what they failed to, kind of break down is, what is that? That's like the years of sitting there in the chart, sitting here for like 6, 10, 15 years, that you don't need anything. And you're like, okay, well, I'm going to look at this. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And then the next side of that is having the conviction, because knowing, oh, well, the market's going to pull back on you. Oh, look, I'm up $100. Say for instance, I was short right here, right? I was short right here, and it's pulling back on me, and it's coming back, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm up maybe $200 here, and it pulls back, and I'm like $100 green. Do I freak out and panic that I just lost $100? All those emotions, all those things, it just takes time to break down all those barriers. For you to slice through all those different things that happen in trading, it takes a long time. Hey, Dino Creation, sorry about that. What you need help with? How can I help? Which time frame works best? It's a combination of time frames. In all honesty, Sat, you don't want to be just zoned in on one time frame, and then you want to also have a kind of a pulse on what other markets are, or what the other indices are doing. Like right now, we're looking at Nasdaq, but on another chart, I've got the Russell, and then on another chart, I'm also looking at the SPY. So I'm looking at the other related indices to see what their patterns are doing. Are they lined up? Or is one of those, like the SPY and the Q have very low cost of participation. So it's cheap for everyone to buy. But those guys, because they're so cheap, they're more sensitive to the fluctuation. They can start creating the pattern before you see it in the futures in the intraday, because they have the biggest amount of volume. If you go over the SPY and you look at the SPY right now, there's about 1,000. There's 2,000 orders on the chain right now. There's only about 150 orders on the chain for NAS right now. There's 690 for MNQ. So you can see the relation of the difference between the three. And if you really want to understand what is happening with the NAS and you want to trade it, you should be looking at MNQ side by side with it, because it's going to you're going to see MNQ react faster than NAS will. NAS will be like a split second, like almost it'll lag a little bit at times, because the volume will be higher on MNQ than it will be on NAS. Or sometimes you'll see it in the SPY. The SPY will start to do something, and all of a sudden you'll just see it kind of translate into the other sectors. And remember, the SPY is not NASDAQ. You would want to be looking at like QQQ. That would be the actual indice you would want to be looking at to see what it's doing. And that's why, like, sometimes I'll be looking at the Russell, because like the Russell offers a very strong trend line. So you can almost bet that if the Russell is already making the trend, you can already imagine that the NAS will at some point start to follow that trend. Or even, you start looking at the Dow. See, like the Dow is already you can see the trend there. It got the cascade down. And there's a lot of guys that like to trade the Dow as well. And don't forget, if you want to lower your risk, you can also trade M2K. M2K is a mini micro of the Dow. You could trade these. These are what, I think it's like $25 a contract is the margin requirement. They have the cheapest margin of all the indices, I believe, right? Is it M2K? I'm almost positive, or MYM. No, wait, M2K is the Russell, MYM is the Dow. That's what it is. Yeah, you could trade the MYM. That would be the mini micro of the Dow. I'm sorry. So those are cool ways that, if you wanna switch to something that might give you maybe a cleaner trend, a lower risk, things like that. Yep. It's just the volatility of the underlying indices. The tech sector is such a volatile sector. They're a news-driven sector. Anything can tariff news, stuff like that. That's what creates that crazy volatility. And here's the better visual that you can take from it. Like if you look at the heat map, you can see the weighting of the indices here. Like you can see here that, like, some of these companies don't have, they have a pretty big foothold here, right? Like Nvidia, Google, Nasdaq, Apple, Amazon, Tesla, Meta, right? Now you go over to the SPY, or the S&P. I'm sorry, the S&P. You can see that chunk of that pie is more divided, even a little bit more even in some cases,
or it's a little offset by other sectors that are brought in. You got finance, you got healthcare, non-consumer durables, those other sectors. That's where like your sector rotation can kind of come into play. Looks like we're starting to get that rejection here. The Dow rejecting the VWAP as well. Got about 12 minutes till the end of New York lunch as well, team. Yeah, we got right to the 200 and rejected right off of it for now. Ah, there's Steve. Yeah, but as far as the time, just don't let it get to you. It's just part of the process. It's it's not gonna be quick. I mean, it took me a while too. It took me what, a year, a little over a year, what, year and 3 months to finally just start kind of getting the rhythm to trading futures. Be able to just pass evals and get into fundeds and stuff like that. It took me a little over a year. Yeah, and even then, what, about a year and a half, then it really just got easier. And then like 2 years in, then it was like, okay, then I could take on the bigger accounts. But then I regressed and I started going into like the 25Ks because I like the 25K accounts because they're so easy to pass. Because then it was like, you know what? For a while I had a bunch of 25Ks like across the place because I could just pass them. You know. Yeah, there's Steve's sell off. 888. We do have this trend line, but we can fill that trend line really easy. That doesn't mean anything. Yeah, you folks on YouTube and on the stream watching, if you all have questions, feel free to drop those in chat, Or we also have a mentorship class happening this afternoon. Coach Matt will be hosting his trade workshop after market close. So you all are more than welcome to drop in. Links are in the chat description below. Would love to have you folks and meet you all and, help you guys in your trading. We've got some great coaches here and some great traders in the community. Let's take a look at gold. Let's see what gold is doing right now. Over the 200, finally. This is the second time it's gotten above it, so this is good. This actually could be a good move on gold, to be honest with you. I hadn't seen a 45 in a minute right there. Look at that. This would be a really good trade. I do like this. What would that be? We could take this in MGC. Let's go down to MGC, the mini micro on gold. What do you guys think? You got a minute 43 on this candle to close. Take out that high side. Maybe you get a little wick action down. You already got 3 green candles to the upside. but you need to get that candle to close above it. Could call it a little bull flag too. That would be a nice little trade there. Could probably take it up to the supply, the London high, if it can get there. If it can actually hold it. And good for you. Good for you. You should sim trade. You should sim trade all the time. I like sim trading. You know? Let's see if we get that continuation to the downside here. Still got like 6 minutes till the end of New York lunch. I'd like to wait until the after and see what happens. I'm getting sell signals on the SPY as well. Let's see if that translates over to ES. Let's flip back over to NQ and see what NQ is doing. Ah, we're right at the 200. Maybe they'll bounce it off this. This is like the 30-second though. But still, yeah, you can see that we got close to it there, and boom, they just picked it up. You broke through it. We missed that. That would have been the good one right there to have taken. Will they breach the 200 though? Start to dump it though. Could get us lower though. Maybe take us down to 24,724, possibly. Maybe a nice wick down to 24,733. Well, it looks like retail's going to give it up here into the close of New York lunch. Are they? Right? Yeah, you guys be careful trading silver and gold. The volatility is insane on it right now. You guys know me, NQ till I die. Come on. Sell it. You got 2 minutes till now, the close of New York lunch. Let's see what the volume does here when we get out. Ooh, let's go. Insane. Oh, look at that. It invalidated. It did invalidate it. It happens. It happens. That's insane. They just swatted that down. And there's a new day low on Bitcoin. It's at 66,000. Oh my God. Oh man. That is that's insane. Almost down 9.5%. Still holding the 26 EMA. You thought it was big. Well, they kept us in the opening range. That's for sure. They brought us right into it for New York lunch, and they just kind of stalled out. Would have gotten a nice little pump though. Got a nice little move to the upside on it. You want 75.55? Crazy. That's insane. Let's take a look at what NQ's doing. Let's go back to it. Making a decent move now. Still holding this level. Can we get above the 200? You're ready to trade it live. You've mastered gold or silver. You've mastered silver. It's easy when you got a trend, right? When you got that trend and it's strong. And that's why I swap over, and sometimes I will trade these other indices because the volume is just there. It's just so much easier to kind of get it to go where you want, or you can see it on the chart better. Oh, you kidding me, Ace? Bitcoin has been getting smoked. Oh man, my neck feels stiff. Oh, the indices are starting to dump across the board. Russell just turned pretty nasty. The market is getting smoked. Well, there's a two, yep. We're 6 minutes into the top of the hour. Now you can see that volume kicking in. What's that new 5 minute? Right, no, this is the new 9 minute. Oh wait, we still got 4 minutes on this. Let's do the 15. See what the 15 looks like. Like still on the bottom of that flag. Like 6 minutes, 7 minutes left. That would be about the right time. See what happens here in a few minutes. I'll wait like another 9, 10, 11, 12, another like 4 minutes. Wait another 4 minutes and let's see what happens then. We should see some movement there. It does look like it wants to push down though. We're still holding that bull flag here though. You can see it. We're just almost at the bottom. We're like midway towards the bottom. Take a look at the Dow real quick. What is the Dow doing? Oh, now we're under. All right. Let's see what this next 5-minute candle does. It's going to open below this one. So let's see if that next 5-minute candle gives us that next leg down. Let's take it with the single mini micro. Did I say that at the very bottom? I hope I didn't. Give me my money back. Let's see if we can get that candle wick low right there. That would be 24,724. You did trade it. You did trade silver. There she goes. Come on. Give us some more. A little bit lower. Come on. Just do it. We got 54 seconds left on that other candle. On that 9-minute candle. So we're still going to be sitting kind of in it. So you might see a little bit of a pullback, but then you should get a little bit better push down. Can we get back to 24,710 though? I think we should. Nice. Congrats, bro. Don't want to get up there. Oh, and that's just a pullback. Man, I put my stop way too close on that. That was not what. I put my stop too close on this. No, I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait now. I see. I should have went short over here. This is where I should have taken the short, not way over here. I should have waited once we got to the 200 to take the short, because that's just a pullback almost halfway on that 9-minute candle. You can see you've got VWAP right there and the 9, and we've already broken below it. Let's try this short one more time. The bulls are fighting it. Come on, stuff this thing down. Fighting it. Come on. Okay. There she goes. Oh no, I feel like I'm fighting Steve on the charts. Steve's got a bunch of green on this chart. And finally the Renko's actually did the downside, but I'm like, Oh yeah, there's a ton. There's a ton. I mean, we're still in the opening range. We're still right in the opening range. Now we're just trying to see if the Bears can get it down, or if the Bulls are gonna take it, pop it back up. I don't think they'll pop it for another hour though. The only problem is that if they don't pop it, are they gonna dump it, or are they gonna just consolidate us here? Because I think we have to make a lower low so that we can make that so we can give them the V-shaped recovery if that's what they're gonna do again today. You're a bear here. All right. Maybe I should go get the bear Crocs. I'm ready to bust out the bear Crocs. Ooh, caldo de res. That sounds delicious. Lucky. My wife made me a little scrambled egg sandwich for breakfast. That's what I had for breakfast. No lunch today. Well, I don't usually eat lunch. I usually eat just like 2 meals a day. I eat a breakfast and then a dinner. And some days I'll fast and I'll just have like one meal. Oh man, Bitcoin just broke 66,000. Jesus. Absolutely, my friend. We'll see you in Power Hour. Have a great lunch. I'm gonna put my stop in the money on this position. Oh man, they just took me out on that candle. The volatility is getting pretty rough. There's a lot of buyers in the market right now, though. They're just early, though. I don't think it's time. Honestly, don't think it's time. Man, I should not have moved my stop. I'm gonna regret that. And no, I'm gonna regret that. Are they gonna put us back in that box and just stuff us there for like the afternoon till to 1? Yeah, yeah. BTC 66,000. What is Ethereum at? Ethereum is at 1,950. Jeez, crazy. That's insane. I got some friends that are just, they're just taken away with how terrible Bitcoin is doing right now. They can't believe that they've lost so much money. I feel bad for them. Oh man, there's that sale. Why did it get? See, I shouldn't have tightened it up. I should not have tightened it up. It just wasn't ready yet. It was still cooking. It was still cooking. But it's okay. It's okay. It was a green trade, so. Oh man. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it, Ace. Oh, I know my boy Ace over there diamond handing. Just bounced off my 4 hour support at 24,719 or 711. I'm sorry, 711. Sign up blank. Pivoted here before, or we've had stops here before. I mean, they're trying, but they're holding it. I mean, we're still in that. That's your little resistance line, though. If it can break that 45 and hold it, push up. It's trying for that. Yes, also at its orb low. Like we're making a little bear flag there. Let's see how much this pulls back before it continues further down. Looks like we're gonna sell for the next while. Oh, that's a nice pullback. About 2,000 orders on that candle. It's going to be hard for gold and silver to really do anything with the margins being increased. That pulls volume out of the market. That's how that adversely affects it. So you're not going to have that volume to be able to make it do what you want it to do. That's the whole purpose behind it. They raise that, and they pull out that volume, and then you won't have that liquidity. So you'll get a little bit. The moves won't be as erratic because you won't have as many purchases. Well, you probably have more wicking because then you got just resting orders. I'd imagine it'd probably be more volatile because of it. Huh. It's weird. It's weird that they would do that. It doesn't seem fair to me. But I guess like everything else, things have to, if the gold per ounce is higher, then they have to raise the margins. So it was just part of a cost of doing business. What you looking at, Steve? I see you there. Was adjusting time frames. What kind of market structure are they giving us for the afternoon? It's almost like what they gave us yesterday, except it's later in the day, or it's earlier in the day. You got that stair step down, and then all of a sudden, you start to get that rip. 12:15, you got like this bearish flag that got invalidated, but now we're right here in it. So maybe you get that next pull. The Russell is trying to base though. Yet again, the volume on Nasdaq just evaporated once again. Well, you're at the bottom of that bull flag. You can see it here on the 9 minute. We're at the very bottom. Pretty decent risk to reward. Let's do a long here because we're at the bottom of the bull flag. We'll put our stop at the bottom of it. And so far it's working. Let's see. Oh, we still have a long time on this 9 minute candle. Look at that. They could still invalidate this and push it down. Depends on what the bulls want to do, though. Could the bulls take the market? Looks like they're trying to. Looks like Steve's Renkos are also giving us some. Ooh, that's a nice pop. Look at that. Wow. Let's go. I'll put my stop in the money. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Bing. All right, let's go. We should probably scalp this because you still got 7 minutes on this candle. Unless they're going to give us some huge candle to the upside, which I don't think they will. And like I said, they'd bring that candle back down. It's too long of a candle. You'd have to have the volume to really sustain it. Let's take a look at what some of the Mag 7. Let's take a look at what Google is doing. You know, because Nasdaq is looking fairly weak. But Google, if it rejects this area here, this morning high, then we'll see Nasdaq continue to fall, I would imagine. And Apple, oh man, Apple's already there. Apple's already selling. That's not good. That's not good for us from wanting upside. Yeah, if you see Apple start or Google starts to sell, you're gonna see the rest of the market really start to sell off. If it rejects that high, let's take a look back at the heat map, see what's happening on the heat. There's so much red in the heat map. You know, Meta holding us up, Johnson and Johnson, Nvidia, flat. AVGO actually green, 2.99%. That translates, directly into the NAVs. But any of those guys start to sell it, you're gonna see a bloodbath in the market today. she goes further. What was I in? 255. Oh wow. Well, Bears are trying. They gotta get under 24/7/10 to really start making this work, though. They get that. You get that next leg down fairly quick. Come on, push it. Sheesh. The Russell looks gross. The Russell's already at its lows. So is the Dow. Check this out. The Russell's already at lows. That means, where's the Dow at? Looks like the SPY. So it looks like the Russell's leading everything right now. If that's the case, you might just see a nasty sell here on the market. Yeah, the cost to borrow on the sell side is super expensive right now. And there she goes. I think you're gonna see a pretty nasty move down on the market. Let's see if we're just at the bottom of this already. I don't wanna I don't wanna take a position here at the bottom of this range already. It's like setting me up for disaster for it to be red already when I go into it. Someone is telling you take profit. Funny. Oh, and there she goes now. You're probably gonna see that low on NQ here. Honor will get into the 24.543 mark. No, we came out of New York lunch pretty strong with a definite idea of what they wanted to do with the market, it looks like. Oh, there's that push down. No, we're up. There it is. There's that push I was saying that we were going to get. There she goes. 24.704 now. Whoo-wee. Smoking. Smoking. Leave my stop alone. You know he's gonna say no. You know he's gonna say no. We're like, yeah, no. Like what? We're getting close to when I think we would pivot. I mean, if there's a chance to pivot, it's gonna have to be in the next like 25 to 30 minutes. If not, definitely another day that Bears have been in control of the market. Just haven't been able to find value in the market. Nothing positive to give us that upside catalyst, that fuel for upside. We're holding that support. Russell's trying. Eesh. That's gross. Oh, that's a rejection. All right, there's that further dip below that support. Huh. Oof. Man, that sell. Oh, why did it get stopped down on the short? God, that could have been good. Oh man. Right? Well, at least I didn't get stopped out for a loss on those last couple of trades. I tell you, so challenging. Pretty wiki session, and we're almost in that box now. Bitcoin just touched 65,000. Silver pushing down past 75, 975. And gold pushing 4,889. ES has actually gotten below the orb low. Oh, that's a good sign. Where is ES relevant to that orb low? Oh, he's still got a ways to go. Still got a long way to go to get to that orb low. That's right, Ace. You keep getting that bread. Man, I can't believe that. Can't believe we got stopped out of that position. It was the right trade. Just too tight on my stop on that. All right, let's go back to the big chart. Can we get a little bit of a pullback to? We'd have to wait for a pullback to the 26 to take an entry on this, unless we chase it. But that was the entry right there. We tapped into that box that I drew up. Bulls are here. I know they're here. They let's see what they do. I was gonna say something. I don't know. I couldn't come up with anything fast. I was trying to come up with some shtick, but I couldn't. I couldn't come up with any dad shtick. I am not talking to you, Google. I want to wait. I want to see if I can catch. If we'll have that reversal here in the next like 20 minutes. Market's trying. The Bulls are trying, like you said. You still short, Ace? Yeah, you might be able to get it. See if they swat it down a little further. Ah, there it goes. Don't be Dennis the Menace. You guys are funny. Let's see. No news. We got some new arrivals in the Discord. Let's see what's in futures chat. You're running out of time, my friend. You're running out of time. You need to move it. Crazy. Wow, look at that candle. There we're gonna go. Check out NASDAQ. It's because we're not in the right time frame. There you go. Let's see. Could this be the pivot? A little early. It's a smidge earlier than yesterday. We're almost 10 minutes early if this is the pivot. Steve's always hunting you. It's just because he loves you. See, you have found
Service is currently available for
you have found his
intraday until 4 p.m. Eastern. To enable announcements,
he
select
likes
the
you.
respective
Never mind.
announcement. Then, place your finger on the reader to
Man,
continue.
that's you to say I went to sleep early. I got like full night's rest. I still feel like, man, I'm not even like cooked today. Enable the announcements. Wish announcements. Little bull flag right there. Steve did cut us off. I think I haven't turned down too much now. He's still muted out though. I should test him and see if he'll respond to my my message if I say. Holy moly, here it goes. Could this be it again? I still think we got a little bit of time left.
Announcement group, intraday, equities, futures, options on, futures, and tangible commodity futures, excluding dark period.
Oh, and they brought it right back down. Look at that. They said stop, no, and don't. I'm like, don't you get any ideas? It ain't time yet. I'll take one. I'm gonna take one on that little pullback. Can you film me? Okay, there it is. Oh, I stop right there. Yup. Gucci right there. Let's just see. Right here. Because I don't want to just get stopped out on this thing just because. Yeah, right there. That puts us back in that box. Yeah, it's right at that box line. We're pretty close to when I think we would start to pivot. So we will see what happens for the rest of the day. Unless I get stopped out, then I'll have to figure it out one more time. If not, might just call it a day here on the trades for the midday. Yeah, save it for tomorrow morning. See if I can catch something decent in the morning session. Again, don't forget we've got Coach Matt's mentorship class happening today. That is a trade workshop for any trader looking to gain an edge, needing help, trying to find their path in trading, that's struggling. That's a fantastic class. If not, every Tuesday we've got Coach Becky's trade psychology class. Those are free classes offered by us, all of us here at Blue Sky. Don't want to miss those. Why pay when you can take advantage of our free classes? And all you got to do is just be a member of the community. Jump in the Discord, sign up, and, you know, find a great trade buddy, you know, ask questions, get involved with the community, because we've got some phenomenal traders, you know, that trade all different types of market classes. So, you know, definitely something for everyone. Again, I want to thank everyone for hanging with me for the midday session, and a special shout out to Mike. Happy birthday, Mike. I hope you have a great birthday tomorrow and a great weekend. Have fun and safe travels on the road out there. You stay safe on those trails, sir. And everybody else, you all have a fantastic day. As always, good luck in the market. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll be on for I'll be on for the morning show tomorrow. So don't forget, you guys can catch me bright and early. Don't forget about my morning levels, because you know what? Did we even take out my morning levels on NQ? Let me double check. How close are we? We dug into the breakdown line, but we haven't gotten really. Yeah. My breakdown line is 24,663. So as long as we're above that, we shouldn't sell. So I would just look for that on the downside. That if we get a candle below that, you're probably going to see some nasty selling. All right, team. Y'all have a great day. As always, good luck, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, team.